Is, yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry for the delay. And in this small road, village road, there are so many red lights, and you have to, and sometimes you have bad luck. The first red light then means all everywhere, and sometimes you will find some people very law-abiding. They will never cross 25. So you have to be slow even when you are in hurry. So it goes. So anyway, let us begin this Kapilopadesha, and I will chant this. You can also repeat after me. Yasya smarana matrena janma samsara bandhanat vimuchyate namastashmai Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. I bow down to Lord Vishnu, the great God, whose mere remembrance makes one free from the bondage of birth and death. Now, we were reading the Kapilopadesha, and in the last month, so we discussed that how the Lord himself, he was very much eager to start the progeny and these all different varieties of people. So he first created the Brahma, and creation is going on. And in the process, he said that the Lord himself said, I like to come down now and like to establish a philosophy. Now, when the philosophy is necessary, we have seen that first it is ritual. The people will be all the time discussing about the ritual, that this should be placed over here, this should be in this way, and you should touch this, you should touch that. So many varieties are there. Once I went to somebody's house, I was about to enter. He told, no, Swamiji, the right feet should be first. On the right, which is right and left, there's some confusion. Anyway, this is the right one, okay. Then, and after that you go from the right side, you have to come to left side. Why? The sun ray is coming from the window, so the Swami should come along with the sun ray, that means the bride. And my God, if it is in the beginning so much, then afterwards what will happen? So like that, it is so much of these ideas in this house. I cannot sit in this chair, there should be this chair because it is northeast facing, so people will be so much of calculation. All this is ritual. They believe that that brings good thing to them. No wrong, no problem, it's okay. But we should have to overcome that. So from the ritual, we slowly learn that we should not hurt others, we should not cheat others, rather we should help others, morality. So from the ritual, one step above morality. And to make the morality understandable, they give lot of stories. Almost in every religion you will find this. Lot of stories they will be telling. That is mythology. And in the mythology, stories after stories will be there. Some are true, some are really historical, and they will be mixing with that historical thing some ideas, and then they will be presenting. And the way they will present, you will be inspired to do that. That is the main idea of the mythology. They will inspire you to do good. After the mythology comes philosophy. The philosophy is to understand why we should do it. Don't tell lies, but why? What is the problem if I say? And if I can save myself from others, from the law, why not? So then the philosophy will say, these are the reason you should not do this. The basis of morality is the philosophy. The philosophy will teach us how things happen. Here we find in the Kapilopadesha, in the Bhagavata, that the Lord has created the universe, every being has been created, And in the Bhagavad, it is wonderful descriptions are there, very detailed description of the creation. And then finally it comes to that Lord himself said that I have to take birth, but not the full, a part of it, so that I can tell people about the philosophy. And that Lord has taken the form of Kapila. His father was Kardama and mother Devahuti. Devahuti was a princess and she was married to Kardama, who was an austere monk. And as because the Lord himself appeared before the Kardama and said, you must marry because I will become a son of yours. So you have to follow my words. He said, okay. So, but one condition. When you were born, then I should go back again to take up the vows of the sannyasa. So he was, because he knew this world is temporary, and his mind was not there at all, but as the God is asking him to do, he said, okay, that I will do. Friends, it reminds us of the incident that happened in the life of Swami Vivekananda. So he was a great yogi and he loved to meditate all the time. And once Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna asked him, so what do you want to be? He said, I like to meditate all the time, and sometimes I will come up, eat something to maintain my body, and without the body I won't be able to enjoy the meditation. And then I like to go down again into that Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Instead of inspiring, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna became very angry. Fie on you. You think that is the highest position? Just enjoying yourself in that meditation? I will teach you something which is much better than that. Each and every being that you see is nothing but the same God manifested. Look at that. If you can see God by closing your eyes, can't you see God with open eyes? That is the Vedantic point of view. But same Vedanta we find over here too. Here also the same thing is said, God has created each and everything out of himself. It is nothing but God. But just for the play, divine play, as it called Leela, the God has given us another thing, and that is called ego. And ego separates us from the God. That much and nothing else. All the religions that we find, all the processes that we are following, so much of books and the philosophy that we are studying, only to understand that I and God are not different. Just because in between there is a wall, a barrier, and that is ego. Somehow if I can remove that ego, then I find that God. It is so easy. Now here it goes on in this way, and it says, Muni Kardama, knowing that his son was none other than Mahavishnu, one day approached him in solitude and prayed. Now, before that, I was wondering, in the beginning, after the marriage, though she was a princess, and Kardama saw when her father came, the great Lord, the first king of the whole world, so Swayambhu Manu, her only daughter, she is coming there. So naturally, but the Kardama, after the marriage, started maintaining the same simple lifestyle of a monk. So naturally, his wife, she was adjusting. And Kardama watching how she can, is she angry? Is she feeling frustrated? Is she complaining? Nothing at all. She was continuously going on serving the Kardama, who was almost forgetful about the wife, all the time meditating. But even then, she was going on serving. It was a test, whether she will be able to remain like that, swadharma. Once you are married and you are accepting, You must continue that life. So that is called Swadharma. Now she was practicing Swadharma. Then the Kardama Muni was having the great spiritual power. So he created afterwards, after a few years, then he created a beautiful floating palace. Floating palace. And the description, so many verses in the Bhagavata. That's why Bhagavata is such a big book. So many descriptions are there. What it was there in that palace. So many beautiful things. And recently when I went to that Riyadh, they kept us in a hotel. Oh my God. So at least I have not seen that type of hotel. So much of wealth everywhere. So that way, that floating palace, he kept his wife there. Now first, he was ignoring and keeping her in the very minimum lifestyle. And now is there so much of wealth and richness, and 500 ladies, they were serving her. They were all biddadharis, all good qualities those ladies were having. They were serving her all the time. And Kardam wanted to see what is her reaction. Even then, in that wealth also, she was one-pointedly devoted to her husband, Kardama. Kardama was very happy. Now, slowly, many years passed, 9 daughters, and finally, one son was born. After the 9 daughters, Kardama told, I think I should now leave. Then the wife reminded, but the Supreme Lord told that he will be our son. You must have to wait till he comes. Then this Kapila was born. Kardama knew the Kapila was none other than the Mahavishnu. Why Maha? The word Maha we use because of the Supreme. Lord Vishnu is sufficient, but Mahavishnu, before him or above him, there is no one. He is the Supreme. So Maha, the word is used for that. And that Vishnu was born as his son. So one day he took the son aside and told, Paramam Pradhanam Purusham Mohantam Kalam Kabim Tribrittam Lokapalanam Atmanubhutya Anugatam Prapancham Sachanda Shaktim Kapilam Prapadde. Kapila, his name was Kapila, Prapadde, I bow down to you. The father is bowed down to the son, not as a father and a son, but he knew that he is the Mahavishnu. So his name is now Kapila. So this is the beauty of the civilization. It is not the junior or the senior. It is not the son or the father. It is not the lower and the higher. It is the knowledge. The respect for the knowledge. The Kapila knew, Kardama knew the Kapila, though apparently, outwardly his son, but he is the Mahavishnu, so he is bowing down. I seek shelter in the divine manifestation, Kapila. Divine manifestation in the form of Kapila. Param Pradhanam Purusham Mahantam, the store of all power and the controller of all, source of all knowledge and action, creator of time and ego, and all knowing. So he is, when he is talking about the Kapila, he knew who is this Kapila. So this is the conception of the God. God is all powerful, all knowing, all merciful, and all those good qualities are in that. In the beginning, there was no conception of God. Today, I will be giving the first lecture in our Home of Harmony, that in Chicago, and it will be from 4 to 5, every Saturday, 4 to 5 afternoon. I will be giving about the Hinduism. First, we will start with the Hinduism. How this conception of religion came. Because people started thinking, oh, look at this, the strong wind, it is uprooting the trees. That means this is the God. Then look at that, the thunder, it is burning everything. So that must be the God. Look at the ocean, my God, so much of huge power, it must be the God. So any powerful thing in the nature, they started considering as the God. And then they started thinking, my father was with me, my grandfather was with me a few days before. Now they are not. Where they have gone? They must be here somewhere. So they started thinking the self, the Atman, as the God, spirit. Not the Atman, but the spirit must be the God. So this different type of development, and ultimately, finally, they developed the power to cross all the limitations. That is the God. The Swami Vivekananda appreciated that. When the birds are flying, can't we? The man started thinking, and they developed this aeroplane. When the fishes are inside the water, can't we go like that? Then they developed or like different type of things they are developing. Whenever, whatever they are thinking, they are developing that power. And now the same power came to a place to why I should not be continuously happy. I want to be happy. But I want to be continuously happy, eternally happy. When I go to my friend, I am happy, but after that, when I am coming back, saying goodbye, I am not happy. So that small period of time, when I get this, when I get that, all small period of time. Now, can I get a permanent period of time happiness, eternal joy, not depending on anyone, anything outside? That capacity he developed, the human being developed, not developed, he actually found out that he is the source, she is the source of all happiness. So where is the problem? Slowly that we will come over here. The Kapila Muni will teach us the all forms of the universe pervading as their consciousness, the self. O Lord, free me from this bondage, samsara, so that I can become a sannyasin. Again, he is coming back to that. Paribrajat padavim astitaham. Paribraja means he is not staying anywhere. Padabim, I like to take that profession where I am not going to stay anywhere for a long period of time. Astitaham, I want to become a sannyasi. So that desire is always there in our mind. So when we are in this household, and sometimes we are excited, particularly when you are young, you are studying and comparing with others and then vying for this, vying for that. Slowly we get that one after another. After achieving all those things, when we become really matured and elderly, experienced, then we feel, no, all those things were there, but that was not actually giving me what I wanted. I like to be monk. So one doctor is here. He always likes to dress like a monk and take picture. And not that he is sending to anywhere, sometimes, but he likes to dress like a monk and the traditional monk, wearing all those garlands and these and that, geruva clad, and then he will be taking the picture. People, they are laughing. No, appreciate it. Because in the subconscious mind, there is a desire to become a monk. And what is that monk? Only dress? Only apparently all that? No. The monkhood means the pure idea of consciousness. That's all. The pure monk, the ultimate person, is having that conception of the consciousness. He is asking, praying to the sun, who is the Lord Vishnu, please give me the permission so that I can become the sannyasi. The Supreme Lord, in the form of Kapila, then he said, and it is in the Bhagavata, 3rd book, 25 chapter, 38 verse, it says, Gaccha kamam maya prishto, mai sanyasta karmana, jitva, sudurjayam mrityum, amritatvaya mam bhaja. Mam bhaja. And you must worship me. It's not that Kapila. Me means that Supreme God. And what he said, go and take up the life of a monk. Why? Conquer the death by dedicating the actions to me. Conquer the death means you will never die. No. The body will die. But he is not going to take the birth again. That's why in sannyasa they call it jati. Namastri yati rajaya. For Swami Vivekananda they said, Namastri yati rajaya. Yati means the monks. Raja, he is the supreme among the monks. Why yati? You know, in Indian language, it's called yati chinya. That means the stop. In English, we give it stop. And in Indian, they call it yati chinya. They stop. Sannyasi means stop. They are not going to take birth again. That's why the yati. And here, the Lord, in the form of Kapila, is telling his father, Kardama, you better go and take up the life of a monk. And for what? Conquer the death by dedicating actions to me. Conquer the death by dedicating actions to me. Jitva sudurjayam mrityum. It's not so easy. Conquering the death is very, very difficult. That means liberation. You are getting the liberation. The liberation how? He is giving the hint. Whatever action that you are doing, offer it to me. That's all. In the Bhagavad Gita also, Sri Krishna very categorically, wonderfully is mentioning Yat karoshi, yadasnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi yat tapassasi kaunteya, tat kurushya mad arpanam. Whatever, when you are blinking, when you are breathing, when you are eating, each and every action that you are doing, including your tapasya, all the spiritual practices that you are doing, that also you offer to me. Me means the Supreme God. The moment you say, oh, I am doing this puja or the homa so that the good result will come to me, along with the bad result will also come. Good will come, of course. But suppose the pujari, that the person who was performing, he pronounced the mantras in a wrong way and did the thing some wrong way, bad action, that won't go to him, it will go to you, because you are organizing. So that is also the problem. Karma is good. Karma will give you the good result. But at the same time, the problem of bad results also. If you take only the good result, no. The President of America, whenever he is doing good, all credit is going to him. Oh, at his time. But some people somewhere doing bad, that is also going to him. He is not doing anything. But some people somewhere, they killed some people. Oh, this president is worthless. What president will do? He cannot go and guard each and everyone. But all blame will also go. If you take good, then bad will also go. So it goes in this way. So he is telling what you should do. Amritatvaya, if you want amritatya, the eternal happiness, mam bhaja, is a duality. You must worship me. And who is this me? Supreme Lord. Who is this Supreme Lord? All consciousness. See how things goes. Ultimately, it is all consciousness. Each and every being is nothing but consciousness. You know, when we are giving maybe some grains of sugar to the ants are happy, God is happy. This is very peculiar. The things goes in such a way that if you are helping anyone anyway, if that person of that being become happy, know it for sure, it's a God's happy. That's why the doctor's profession, medical profession, they are directly serving the ailing gods. And when they are happy, they get up, and person he was not could not walk. Now they give the medicine, an operation, this, that. Then slowly they get up and walk, and they're so happy. That happiness comes to you as the blessings of God. But if you can give it back to God, and if you go on taking the credit, I did it, then again the bad also will come to you. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling a beautiful story. Then one person, he was a very good gardener, and he developed varieties of flowers. And people used to come and appreciate. Groups after groups are coming. Oh my God, beautiful flowers. I just saw the beautiful roses over here in that corner. Naturally, people appreciate. So beautiful, the garden, everybody started appreciating. And that fellow will come and say, oh, you have seen these yellow flowers? I have done it. That red flower you are liking? I have done it. So everywhere he will say, I. Then one day cow came. Cow doesn't appreciate by seeing, by tasting. So the cow tasted all the flowers, and perhaps it was liking the flowers, so it was eating. Then this fellow came, it became very angry and hit the cow in such a force, it died over there. Now killing the cow is a terrible thing. Then naturally that scene came to that Brahmana. And he was a very intelligent person. He studied the scripture also. And he said, hey, wait. You don't know. This hand is working under whose direction? It is Indra. All this Pancha Indriya, all these 10 Indriyas are working because of the Indriya, the God. My hand took that stick, my hand raised, my hand hit. Do you think I have done? It is Indra only. Then, getting confused, the scene went to Indra. Indra told, is it? He is telling like that? Acha, let me go. Then Indra came in the form of an old person and said, oh, wonderful garden. It's just like the garden of the Indra. It is so divine. And this man heard it and came. Are you liking it? Oh, yes. Then he was going on visiting different places. And this Brahmin forgot that there is a dead cow lying over there. He was going on describing, and they both reached over there. Oh my God, who has killed the cow? Then he said, no, actually what happened? Then Indra told, what happened? All good thing credit you are taking, are bad only to Indra? If you give all the credit to Indra, the bad also Indra will take. Now you have to give everything to me. Mam anusmara yuddhacha. See, this is Hinduism. Hinduism never says don't work. Hinduism says you must be very forceful, very aggressive. You must work. But don't take the credit. Give it to God. Be simple. Because you have been chosen for that work only. That much. Some are very good singers. Some are very good speakers, some are very good writers, some are very good administrators, organizers. All those qualities are coming from the God. So if we understand that, we enjoy everything with the God. So he says, Gaccha kamam maya prishto. So I give you that permission, you go. Mai samnasta karmana. You must offer all the actions to me. Jitva sudurjayam mrityum, and you must conquer the death. Here the conquered the death means you must get the liberation. The death is only for the physical body. It is not for the self. And the self is associated with the mind. So long we cannot take it out. So it is always attached with the mind. So when we can detach the mind, which is thinking, by giving it to God, how we can give it to God? Constantly thinking of God. How the mind can be given to God? How everything can be given to God? By constantly thinking of God. So when you are cooking, when you are sweeping, when you are walking, when you are driving, each and every moment if you are going on thinking about God, And that's why in every religion you will find they have developed devotional songs. They go on singing the song. But the problem is, they only sing, they don't remember the meaning of those songs. Mere to giridhari lal dusra na koi. The one line only. And in different tunes, the Indians' classical music, there will be the 7th floor, then 6th floor, and now the people will be clapping, oh, beautiful, beautiful. But what is that word, the meaning of it? I only have that God who lifted the mountain. That means Krishna. When you are thinking on that and singing, that will give you the benefit. Otherwise, only you are entertaining yourself with the music. No, that won't go. Many of the people at different places, they will play the music in the early morning, they will play the music and this very devotional song, and they will be doing these, that, without listening to that. Just, they have habit. That won't help. It is mind only. Your mind should be alert, your mind should be attached. When we are taking the name of God, the japa we perform, we are going on taking the name of japa, and at the same time we are bargaining what is the value of the potato and this, that. That won't help you. It's a waste of time. So when we have to do, we have to put the mind on that. Every time you are taking the name of the Lord, it should go within your whole personality, your body, mind, everything. It should reverberate. That is the Om Sri Rama, and everything should, in the body, mind, you forget everything. So that is the mantra, and then you are repeating. So this he said, Jitva Sudurjaya Mritum Amritatvaya Mam Bhaja. Go to take up the life of a monk and conquer the death by dedicating all actions to me. Assuring his father, the Lord said, don't worry about my mother, because Swadharma, as a husband, I am supposed to protect my wife all through my life, as long as I survive. And the wife also constantly with the husband, as long as she lives. So that is all Swadharma. This is because we are married and we have taken the promises. We should not break the oath. So it goes on like that. But because as a Lord Vishnu, he is asking his father, Kardama, to take up the life of a monk. And what will happen to his Sadharma? What about his wife? Then the Lord Vishnu is telling, don't worry about my mother, I will take care of her. I shall give her the knowledge of Atman. By that she will attain eternal bliss. You are going as a monk and you have to practice, but about the mother, don't worry. I will give her the knowledge by which she will also get the eternal bliss. So that is the promise. Matrecha, mata, so matre. Matrecha, cha means and. Adhyatmikim vidyam, I will give the spiritual knowledge. Shamanim sarva karmanam, bitarishe yaya chaso, bhayam atitarishyati. Bhayam ati, ati bhayam. What is that ati bhayam? Mrittu. That is the ati bhayam. When the death comes, it's terrible. I was reading a book, Life After Life and all that. Some of the experiences that the doctors, they have recorded, the terrible type of experience. That time, the whole life's work comes before you. And you cannot deny. If you go to a judge and in the court, you can deny, you have the lawyer, somehow you can manage. But when the Mrittu is standing before you, you see your whole, the balance sheet of your life. Oh, you have done this, you have done everything. In the Upanishad it mentions, in the last sloka of the Upanishad, Kruto smara kritaggam smara, Kruto smara kritaggam smara, smaran, smaran, smaran. All that will come in the thought. And your body is inactive. You are just dying. You cannot move. But the mind is very active. And what the mind is seeing, nobody is disturbing you. You see your own action. Everything as a picture it comes before and torments you. If you have done something wrong, it torments you. But you have done something good, very peaceful. So sometimes when the monks, they are very interested, when another monk is passing, that they will be inquiring, when he was passing, what was his attitude, his face and behavior. There will be sometimes someone will be so calm and quiet. One person, Swamiji, I have not seen him, I heard about him, that he was very active all the time, going out, helping people, talking to people, and then he will be feeding all the street dogs that were, and all told like, what you are doing? And never you come to temple, never you meditate, what you are doing? No, I am taking care of myself, don't worry. So like that he used to do. And last day when he was admitted in the hospital, then almost like 1:30, 2 o'clock, he got up from his bed. He was sick, but still he got up from his bed, and when other Swamis were there, there's say 8 or 10 Swamis in the same hall, he went and pushed everyone, hey, get up, get up. Sri Ramakrishna, Thakur has come, Madhar has come. Don't you like to see them? See, they're coming. He pushed every one of them, they got up and they were angry, hey, what you are doing? He went and sat on his bed and said, Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, and fell. So that is the whole, all through the life, he was only helping each and every being, right from the birds and the animals and the human being, only with great love. That much he did. And he did with all offering as a prayer. And at the last moment, he saw only God. So that he is telling that I will be bhayam matitarishyati. There will be no fear. Why? Because then she will know or he will know, I am not going to die. I am going to merge with the light. So this is the light, means the joy, the happiness. I am just going and merging with that. So that is called the liberation. Everywhere is nothing but that wonderful light of joy, light of happiness. And when I go and merge with that, why should I look back? So at the time of death, that is the greatest examination. There will be no judge, no police, no law. There will be only I and my karma. So that is the reason one should not feel jealous, should not do anything at the back of others, should not harm others. Yes, because it is nature always provoke us to do that. This is very peculiar. You need not to tell the children to tell lies, but they will tell lies. मैंने माखन नहीं खाया, बोले the Krishna song. I don't know whether Krishna said like that or not, but मैं नहीं माखन खाया. So like that it will be, song will be there and all that. But who is teaching that to the children? To tell lies? It is nature. From the nature it comes. And doing something wrong, no parents will ask their children to do all these wrong things. Why? Where from they learn? We say, oh, that is the friend, that is actually it is within that person. So all that is there in our nature. And when we grow up, after the 18 years, 16 to 18, all that slowly start manifesting. Then we go according to that. And at the end, all that balance sheet will be shown before me. You have done this, you have done this, you have done this, you have done that. And that is mrityu. And terrible fear comes. Oh my God, what is going to happen to me? So please help. No chance. And Swami Vivekananda said, good, good, bad, bad, none can escape the law. I went to Bihar, long back. I think I was in Andaman. From there they invited me to speak in one of our centers. Some program functions were there. I went, and it was Swami Vivekananda Jayanti. So before I give, then one minister came from there. They're mostly that they call Bahubali. They're all very powerful people, and they make people afraid and all. And they're all other groups also. Police are there because the minister, but they have their own bodyguards, and they're terrible-looking people. They all came. One person was sitting just in front of me. We were on the stage, the dais, and he was sitting with a big tummy, and here, openly, there was a revolver and a dagger and all that, to terrify people. When I was telling this, I've forgotten. So in that connection, karma phala, I told if you are harming people, then maybe someday you have to take birth as a dog and this and that, and people will throw stone at you. Other people will feel, oh my God, why they're killing? But actually, you are supposed to suffer. This will happen because of your work. This person, he became very much afraid. When I stopped the lecture and came down, he came and told, Swamiji, ये जो आपने कहा था ये क्या सच्चा है ना? सत्य है. हमने तो फील नहीं किया, बट हमारा स्क्रिप्चर में लिखा है. तो मेरा क्या होगा? क्यों? आपने कुछ किया? बहुत कुछ किया. तो अच्छा ठीक है, अभी क्या करेंगे? अच्छा करो, भलाई करो. बुरा हो गया तो भलाई करो, तो बैलेंस हो जाएगा. तो ठीक है. He was very happy. So this is the way, and truly people do not understand this. A karma phala is not a funny thing. The karma phala of the Hindus, of the Buddhists, of the, that 500 years after Jesus Christ, 553, one king who was controlling the Christianity at that time, Constantine, he called a meeting and said, oh, this I don't understand. So remove the karma phala theory from the Christianity. They removed it. It was there. They also believed it. So influence of the Vedanta was everywhere in all religion. Anyway, they removed it. Whether you believe it or not, accept it or not, but it is the truth. Whether you like it or not, believe it or not, if you put the finger in the fire, it will burn. So that is the way, if we have to understand, it is the karma phala. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, you are the maker of your own destiny. Be very careful. And he said that after the father left, Kapila continued living with his mother and in Bindusara. There's a river and by the side. When the Kapila was in his heart, the mother Devahuti came with a prayer. And she said, Mother, he is addressing her son as, O Lord, I have been in darkness owing to the pull of senses. Now, to some extent, I am free. You, O Lord, consider as a great spiritual guide, please help me to break this bondage of attachment. Tvam tva gataham sharanam sharanyam sabhritta samsara taro kutaram jigyasaya ayam prakrite purushasya namami sadharma vidam varishtam. Swadharma vidam varishtam. You are the supreme among all the teachers. Swadharma means, that is, you teach the spirituality. Among those teachers who are teaching the spirituality, you are the greatest. Oh, my son. She is not addressing her son. Jesus' mother, when Jesus was hanging from that cross, she came and addressed him as son. But Jesus said, Oh lady, think yourself blessed that I took the birth as your son. It is not the mother-son relation. No, that's why we, in the Ramakrishna mission, we accept Lord Jesus as the incarnation of God. We worship Jesus, but not the Christianity, the churchianity. Yes, the way of explanations, that is, we are not agreeing with them. But the Lord Jesus, in his own life, he was really, really exalted. And each and everything, it goes along with our Shastra. And the mother-son relation, but the moment it is the spiritual guidance, immediately the mother also not addressing the son as son, but Lord. And she knew that this Lord is nothing but the Vishnu. This my son is the Vishnu. So with great respect she is telling, Tam tva gataham sharanam sharanyam. I seek shelter in you. You are the refuge of the helpless. You are the refuge of the helpless. Sharanam sharanyam. So I take shelter. Sabhritta samsara taro kutaram. And you cut the bondage of thy servants like an axe. You are cutting the bondage of thy servant. When the word servant is used, some people don't like it. Why servant? Servant means humble. When people are very humble, they are always dedicated to the master. So that is the way they say called servant. Our Mahavirji, Hanumanji, he likes to introduce himself as a servant of Sri Rama, but the very, very humble. A servant will never give any comment, will never do anything that goes against his Lord. He's a very humble type. Arjuna is the friend. So naturally, Arjuna used to constantly argue with Sri Krishna. He will be telling why this is not good, that is not good, etc., etc. But Hanumanji will never say that. So this is the difference. I am the humblest way I am approaching you, my Lord, and you are the great refuge. Please help me. Then we will conclude over here the 13th verse. It is the third 23:13, 23rd chapter. He says, Yoga adhyatmika pumsam mato nistreyasharame attanta parati yatra dukshasya cha sukhasya cha. Yoga adhyatmika pumsam. For the beings, the spiritual yoga is the only way. Now she is telling, please help me. For all these years, I was taking care of the family, so I got attached. Now, everything is settled, all the daughters are married. Now at this age, what shall I do? See, this is how the approach the householder should do. Whatever the responsibility we took, we have performed perfectly. Now that we are free, we are not going to be bound by, again, the grandson, grandchildren. From distance, it is okay. As a husband, wife, as a householder, whatever the responsibility, we have performed. Now our children are all settled. We don't have any responsibility. Now if we go again bind ourselves with the love and affection of the grandchildren, that is very difficult. So those who are understanding that this world is just temporary, and I have to make myself free from it. How it is possible? Detaching my mind from all the attachments. And I am not going to increase this attachment anymore. Whatever Lord gave, I perform. Now the children, they have gone away. I have not driven them out. They, according to their karma, they have gone away. I am free. Instead of thinking, oh, what will happen to me? Rather, I should be happy, like the Kapila's mother, alone. And all the 9 daughters are married, settled somewhere. Only one son, he is also ready to go away. So as a monk, then she is happy. She is coming and telling, now I am free. Can you please tell me what I should do? Because you are the great master. You are going to give this instruction to so many people. Why not to me? So please tell me. And Kapila is telling, the spiritual yoga, that is the highest. Ultimate good. Attanta parati yatra. What is that? Dukshasya and shukrasya. Shukha, dukkha, these two that goes together. If you take the sukha, happiness, you have to accept the dukkha also. Some people will appreciate and some people will criticize. It is obvious. 100% appreciation impossible. Even Lord Buddha, the people were there who used to criticize him. Lord Jesus, we know, he was crucified. And like that, this great personality is also where having some people opposing. If you think there will be no one opposing me, no, that is wrong. But you have to understand how to go beyond that. I don't want appreciation, so naturally I don't care for or bother for this opposition also. Thank you, friends. We will continue from here again. So from next time, and slowly we will enter into the philosophy, and that will be a little tricky. We have to be attentive to understand Samkhya philosophy. How this creation came, the Samkhya will explain. Thank you.